Hello traders, welcome to the live stream. Trader Tom here. Hope you're all well, and let's just dive into the action. We are going to look at trades that I am in. I am currently in 4 trades. I know, I'm not normally in that many, but we're going to take a look at all 4. 2 of them are still the same trades as from yesterday, guys, right? So I was in pound Canadian dollar sells, and I was in pound New Zealand dollar sells, right? So I'm still in them, but I took some profit off one of them. Anyway, I'm going to explain all of this. What else are we going to do? We're also going to take a quick look at the news, right? Because we did have the Swiss franc interest rate come out. And although this was as expected, we have seen some strength in the Swiss franc. And we're going to look at a trade that I'm in. I'm actually in Euro Swiss franc. All right, so we're going to look at that as well. And please bear in mind, guys, later on in the day, we do have some big news coming out of the US here and here. All right, so yes, that is what we're going to do. I'm also going to look at potentially a couple of trades that are setting up, but I am more or less in all of the trades that I want to be in, guys, right? And, you know, all it is when I get a setup, I take the trade. I don't question it. I don't, you know, it's just how I roll. And I'm going to show you all of that. And always, guys, as always, we're going to take as many of your questions as humanly possible. Let me just skip this. Yeah, so get your questions into me, guys. And it can be anything to do with trading, right? You can also ask me questions about geography, football, and film, if you feel like giving me a general knowledge question, but that is aside from trading. So yeah, that's what we're going to do, guys. Let's not mess around. Let's get stuck in. As always, if you enjoy what you hear and you enjoy my analysis, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and smash the like button. And also, guys, straight after this vid, we've got a really straight after this live stream, I'm launching a really interesting vid about trading. So yeah, go check out that YouTube vid after this. Right, where do we start? We've got lots of trades that I'm in, guys, right? So pound New Zealand dollar, this hasn't changed. And this just keeps giving and giving and giving. Right. Again, I'm not, you know, we've looked at this trade literally every day. Nothing's changed, right? We want to sell it. Okay. We're in a downtrend. Clearly can see that. You do not need to be Warren Buffett to see that. And then just look at the candles. Bearish, 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 bearish. So far bearish. Room to move into as well, right? I'm not going to bore you anymore because those of you guys that have been with me every day this week, I've pretty much traded pound New Zealand dollar every day this week. And you can see all of the trades here, guys, right? So we've just been ranging, right? As simple as that. So prices retraced, started selling, took some profit. Price retraced, started selling, took some profit. Prices retraced, started selling. This is the trade today. We're almost at our profit target, right? Let's see how this plays out. So there you go, guys, right? Downtrend in a H4 range. And all I keep doing is trading the top of the range, right? You know, nothing too complex about it, really. You know, the more complex side of this is managing the trade, right? Taking profit, re-adding to the trade, taking profit, right? You know, rather than just staying in a trade and forgetting about it, right? I'm not saying you can't do that, but if you really want to maximize reward and reduce risk, I think you need to manage trades, right? And there are numerous tutorials in the VIP Discord, guys, right? So go and check out all my tutorials on managing trades. There are lots in the VIP. So there you go, guys. This is pound New Zealand dollar. This is the trade I'm in. Let's stick with pound because I'm still in this pound Canadian dollar. Obviously, we had the interest rate come out yesterday, which was as expected, and we didn't see much movement, right? I stayed in the trade. Yeah, and here we are, guys, right? Again, we are on the day chart. We're in this daily downtrend as soon as we broke that low, and we had this nice big bearish candle, you know, when I entered yesterday. But yeah, no reason to get out of this trade. This is a bit bullish, this daily candle, but it's got a top wick, right? The market has absorbed that interest rate news. There wasn't a big reaction. It was all as expected. And then, yeah, I got into this trade yesterday, you know, and I'm liking so far, nothing to worry about, right? We're still in this, you know, downtrend. We haven't broken these highs. If we break these highs, it would concern me, because for me, I would say that's consolidation and then a break. If that happened, I would get out of this trade early, right? So yeah, that's where we are with pound Canadian dollar. Which one should we look at? Let's look at New Zealand dollar yen, because the ones I'm showing you now, guys, are all daily trend with H4 trend and H4 entry. But my Euro Swiss franc trade is not, right? And I'm going to share that with you very shortly. This is New Zealand yen. So if we go to the day chart, right, it just has a bit more room to move into. I mean, arguably, actually, let's go to the weekly. Right now, you know, everything is bullish, and potentially we have room back up to this level here, right? But as always, guys, I'm just making the next psychological level my target, right? But weekly is clearly in an uptrend, very bullish. If we go to the day chart now, the blue line that you're seeing is 91, right? A psychological level. And again, you know, obviously, you know, if you've been trading for 30 seconds, you can see that is in an uptrend, right? Again, you don't need to be Warren Buffett. You don't even actually need to be human, right? I reckon a chimpanzee could see that's in an uptrend. But, right, that, you know, if we go into a little bit more detail, it is very far away from our smart river, and this constitutes value. So we're trading a little bit out of value. But, right, just look at the candles. Bullish, 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 and we've got a bit of room to move into. In fact, I'm just trying to take it back to that daily high. That's all. All right, so I am aware that we are a little bit overextended, not super overextended, right? For example, if I bought up the RSI, where's the RSI? Boom, 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 right? If I bought this up, okay, all right, I take it back. It is over 70, right? I didn't think it would be, right? So it is over, you know, RSI is telling us it's a little bit overextended as well. You know, I don't need the RSI to tell me that. I can see just by looking at the chart, right? Because how far away we are from here. But, you know, weekly is very bullish. The candles are very bullish. And if we look at the H4, right, you know, we're at the smart river, right? And this is part of our price action pro indicator, guys. And it also tells you daily trend, etc., right? So the indicator is, you know, a powerful tool. And as you can see, we're kind of just ranging between here and here. So I entered, guys. We've had this big wick rejection, right? Started buying. My target is back up to this high, right? So I'm not trying to push it too far. I'm just pushing it back up to those daily levels. You can see I've got my alarm in here. If it starts breaking, if I get a candle looks something like this, right? If your candles look like that, go seek help from your broker. They shouldn't look like that. But, you know, maybe I'll close this trade early, right? Because it's not doing what I expected. But what I do like about yen weakness, which is what this is, the NASDAQ, right? It still has this room to move into to come back up to these highs, right? So if the indices are doing this, yen will remain weak. And it's probably a good time now to reflect on the Fed from yesterday, right? It was very dovish. So dovish means, they're leaning towards further interest rate cuts, right? Hawkish is the other way, right? They're leaning towards keeping interest rates the same or increasing, right? But the rhetoric, word of the day, was hawkish, was dovish, sorry. So, with that in mind, lower interest rates is good for business, right? So, that has also led me to believe this yen weakness could be sustained as well, because lower interest rates are going to help the indices do this. It's very pro business, and obviously yen will become weak. So yeah, and that was pretty much the takeaway from the Fed yesterday, right? It was dovish. So yeah, that is New Zealand yen. And then my last trade, guys, is Euro Swiss franc. And I've saved this one till the end because this is a daily trade, right? This is not a H4 trade with daily. This is a daily trade with weekly, right? So if you're thinking, Tom, what the hell are you talking about? Let me explain. Let me have a glug of water. And also, guys, hello to everyone coming in. If you're new, please come in, say hello, leave a question. If you're not new, you know the drill by now. And also, while you're at it, guys, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and smash the notification button as well. Now, Euro Swiss franc, right? Obviously not doing what I want it to do, but, I still like this trade, really. Because as you can see, Euro Swiss franc was in an uptrend, still in an uptrend, and then it retraced to this level. What was once resistance becomes support. I love that setup, and so should you. It doesn't matter which time frame. That is a good setup, right? When you get this scenario, right, resistance, bang, becomes support, and it's usually a pretty good area to trade from. And it's the opposite for downtrends, right? If we get, let's say, prices ranging, we get a break, we get a retest. What was once support becomes resistance, and we can trade from there. Love these setups, right? Now, there was also a bit of a rejection here. There was a bit of a bottom wick, and also what fed into this trade idea was the dovishness of the Fed as well. I am not a fundamental trader, but I can't help but, little bits that I, the fundamental analysis that I have done supports, Swiss franc weakness, because Swiss franc, again, is a flight to safety, right? The same reason I like yen weakness. Right, we're expecting those indices to come back up to those highs, right? Now, it's a daily trade, right? And I've entered at a daily level. Yeah, you can. So we'll go to the H4 so you can see it a bit more clearly. And I've put my stop literally below that low and below this support level, right? So, yeah, I still like this trade. I know it's going against me. I still like this trade because if you look at the weekly, right, I know we have, obviously you cannot look at this candle right now, right, because it's a weekly candle. It hasn't finished forming. But what we have seen on the weekly is a break to the upside, right? We were getting lower highs, lower lows, stopped making lower lows, always a red flag that trend could change, right? Especially when you get candles like this at these lows, right? And then we've broken this last high here, right, with this candle here. So we're firmly in an uptrend. And you can see the level we're at now is actually a nice weekly level to trade from. I was trading from the daily level, but you can see this is a nice weekly level to trade from, and my stop's below that, right? So that's why I still like this trade, right? So weekly's in a uptrend with a really nice bullish candle, and we've got all this room to move into. And also, guys, let's take a quick look at the monthly, right? A lot of these Swiss franc pairs have all been like critical support or resistance levels, support levels, right? And look at that monthly candle bouncing off that level. So lots of buying pressure. If we drop down to the H4, now I did use the H4 to help me enter, but I'm going against H4 trend, right? I mean, this is, you could even argue that, right? I'm not with H4 trend, right? I know that this is a daily trade. But what I did do at this level right here is just say to myself, right, are buyers coming into the market? And the answer was yes. Just look at those candles, right? So I entered, started buying here, stopped below here. I'm going to take profit, right, at 1:1, and then we'll let some profit run, right? So I did use the H4 to enter here. Now, as it pans out, we have had the Swiss franc interest rate decision. Now, as you can see, guys, the Swiss franc interest rate decision was as expected, a big fat 0, right? And we had the Swiss National Bank press conference, right? And that has led to strength in the Swiss franc, right? Now, that's okay, right? No problem. Yeah, my stop loss is in such a position where it can take a lot of heat, right? But, I do want to start seeing buyers coming in at this level, right? We need to see buyers coming in at this level. So, yeah, there you go, guys. That trade's a little bit different because it is a day trade pretty much. So yeah, there you go. Let's have a look and see who is in the house. Right, let's start at the top. Luigi, hi. Nicholas, hi. Niraj, hi. Mohammed, how are you? Andreas wants to look at pound US dollar slowly. Okay. Some young guy, just like saying your name. Not for just anyway. Could you have a gander at Canadian dollar, Japanese yen? Yeah, you're definitely from the UK. Yesterday it was have a butcher's. Today it's have a gander. You're going to run out of sayings for taking a look. I'll be intrigued to see what you come up with next. So yeah, we'll have a look at pound US dollar. We'll have a look at Canadian dollar yen. Brian, hi. Eugene, hi. How are you? Max, hi, Max. Okay, so Max is looking at Swiss franc pairs. Jane, hi, wants to look at Aussie dollar, Swiss franc. Path, hi. Right, so let's take a look at all of these trades, guys. Let's start with pound US dollar. Now, if we go to the daily, let's start with the weekly, actually. Now, and this is right, I am going to put this question to you because I think this will be useful and helpful for learning, right? So, everyone, looking at the pound US dollar weekly chart, would you say that is in a downtrend, an uptrend, or a range? Because they're the only three, ways a chart can be, right? It's either in an uptrend, a downtrend, or ranging, right? The three phases of a chart. What one is it? So everyone, guys, get involved. You let me know. Pound US dollar weekly chart. Is it uptrend, downtrend, or ranging? While you tell me, I'm going to drink. It's firstly work, this YouTubing. Nero downtrend. Max downtrend. A slow downtrend. Luigi downtrend. Niraj downtrend. Jane uptrend. Brian uptrend. Okay, so this is the reason I wanted to share this, right? Eugene downtrend, Mohammed uptrend, right? It's a bit of a mixed bag. Uptrend from path, right? So interesting, right? And I agree with you. It's not as clear cut as you might think. Now, if we start over here, I would say this trend is very clear, right? I would say we're here, right? At this point, there's no disputing we're in a downtrend, right? We've broken these lows, even these lows, and we're getting lower lows, right? Now, the only thing here is, you know, do you class this level here as a significant enough lower high, right? And that is open to interpretation. For me, no, it isn't, right? There wasn't enough movement here, right? There wasn't enough substantial movement here. So for me, you know, it's still in this downtrend, right? We're still kind of here, right? We're still in this downtrend. So for me, it's a downtrend, but I do understand people because of that level there that we're in an uptrend. But also, again, guys, our smart river, right, is a pretty good area for price to react, right? Because it's the mean of the market, price reverts back to the mean, and then it wants to follow trend again, right? It's as simple as that. But you know, nothing's telling me to start selling in here, right? It's not. Nothing's telling me to sell that, but we're in a downtrend. Now, let's have a quick look at the monthly, actually. I mean, even this is complicated, right? Have we broken this last low here, right? Probably not. And then we've had this bounce off. So you can see, guys, that we've got, you know, some real mixed signals with pound US dollar. So, you know, what are we going to do with this, right? So let's carry on our review, right? So let's carry on our analysis. So let's look at the day chart. And the day chart is clearly in this uptrend, but we're back at this high and we haven't broke it yet. You know, it's not a trade for me. And in fact, you know, the fact it's back at these highs and hasn't broken it, I just want to see what price does here. So you've got a weekly downtrend, you've got a daily uptrend, you've got a monthly chart that's not easy to read. So pound US dollar is just not a trade that I'm interested in, right? Obviously, there's a couple of pound crosses that I'm interested in. I'm in pound New Zealand and pound Canadian dollar. But this, I'm just not touching with a barge pole. And we talked about this yesterday. The US dollar and the dollar index isn't clear, right? And, you know, if you go back to yesterday's live stream, guys, we go into that in some detail. So for me to take a trade, I want everything pulling in the same direction, right? I want daily, weekly, pulling in the same direction. You know, H4 is with higher time frame trend, right? And that's just not what we're seeing with pound US dollar. So yeah, pound US dollar is a tricky one, guys. So for that reason, just stay away. Excuse me. What's the next one we wanted to look at? Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. Let's have a gander at this. Before I do, guys, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Also, go check out the website, www.simply-forex.com. Right? Got all of our premium trading education on there. Please come join our free trading community. We've got the Discord channel. It's beautiful in there with beautiful people. But it's just a good community, people sharing ideas. And then finally, guys, if you want to show your support for the channel, then please sign up with our preferred broker, Pepperstone, right? Not only are they a world-class broker, not only will we give you free VIP access and a free Essential Trading View subscription, but you are also supporting the channel, guys, all right? So please make the effort to use our link and sign up with Pepperstone. Proper frog, and sorry, all the links are in the video description. I've got a proper frog in my throat. CAD yen, we want to buy, but it's so overextended. Right, let's start with the daily. Now, this was one of my trades from my weekly Forex forecast. And can I just say again, please go watch the weekly Forex forecast. Pretty much all of my trades have hit target, right? Now, CAD yen, as I explained earlier, I like yen weakness. I am in New Zealand yen buys, right? And I showed you the trade earlier. And if we look at the day chart on Canadian dollar yen, we're clearly in an uptrend, right? And everything's bullish, right? Bullish, bullish, bullish. There is a little bit of indecision here, but, looking at this candle, right, buyers are in control, okay? So, yeah, a buy trade. As with a lot of the yen pairs, a little bit overextended, right? If we go to the weekly now as well, right, we have a lot of free air, really, right? Now, this was an important level, right? This level here that I have highlighted, and it broke that level. And in here, I've pinpointed this level, but purely because it's a psychological level, this 113, I wouldn't say that's an exactly big support or resistance level, right? I would suggest you don't start hitting support and resistance till you come in here or even up here. So you've got lots of free air with this yen pair, right? But if we look at the weekly, we are overextended. Look where the river is, right? Rolling on the river. Sorry. We're miles away. So I want to buy it. There's no two ways about it. I want to buy it, but are things a little bit too overextended? I would say yes. If you look at the H4, yeah, I mean, H4 is in a nice area, right? We're in this uptrend. We've kind of retraced back to that last high. What was once resistance becomes good support. Yeah, okay. But I prefer New Zealand yen, right? Yeah, I'll give you a little tip here, guys, right? If I am umming and ahhing like I am with Canadian dollar yen, you can see I'm a little bit undecided. Things are a little bit overbought. Is this H4 trying to break down? So what I would do, I would say to myself this, right? I would drop down to the H1 and you can see this level here. H1 is in a downtrend. No two ways about it. So this level right here is the last lower high. So I'll say to myself, right, I'm still a little bit undecided. If we get a break, right, I'd put an alarm in here. If we get a break on the H1, I would consider taking buys back up to these highs and using a H1 stop loss. That's potentially how I would trade that. right? But still based on price action, still based on structure breaks, still based on higher time frame trend. But yeah, that's what I would look at with CAD yen there. So yeah, not blown away by it. I like New Zealand yen more. So hope that helps. Right, what else are we looking at? Jane wants to look at Aussie dollar, Swiss franc. Yeah, and as Max said here, right, come join the free Discord, guys. It's free. Max is sharing trade ideas. We've got Leonardo in there. We've got Fapello. We've got Nicholas. We've got a few other guys. They're just sharing trades and discussing trades. So come join the free Discord, guys. It's a great place to hang out with fellow traders. But yeah, let's have a look at Aussie dollar, Swiss franc. Okay. I'm just going to take a quick look at Euro Swiss franc, guys. Okay, not much movement so far. Don't expect much to happen before the US Open, New York Open. Let's have a look at pound New Zealand dollar. I'm still in this. Okay, let's have a look at pound Canadian dollar. Okay. All right. And New Zealand yen. Okay, not much happening at the moment. Right, let's have a look at Aussie dollar, Swiss franc. Yeah, I nice level. I was like, nice level. This is what this is. It's like Euro Swiss franc. It's at a bloody nice level, right? Now, the problem here is stop loss positioning, right? And I'm going to share with you exactly what I mean and compare it to Euro Swiss franc, which is easier to trade for that reason. Also, guys, there was something I wanted to tell you. Merry Christmas, by the way. Merry Christmas. Yeah, gone. Can't remember. The older I get, I'm getting a memory like a sieve. I need a memory like an elephant and something else like an elephant. Sorry. Right, Aussie dollar, Swiss franc. This level is a good level. Oh, God, let me draw that again. This level is a nice level, right? There's no two ways about it. It's a psychological level. It used to be resistance. Will it be good support? More than likely, yes. So I really like the level, right? Obviously, there's no candles telling me to buy this level yet, right? There isn't. And if you look at the weekly, right, just free air, right? It was all about, resistance, 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 broken resistance. And really, the next big piece of resistance is back up at these highs in here. And it's 0.5400. Right? So you've got a lot of free air there. You've got a lot of room to move into. So yes, this is a very interesting trade right now and at a very interesting level. If we go back to the daily, the problem you have, right, is where to put your stop loss, right? If you started buying here, right, where would you put your stop loss? Now, typically I want to put my stop loss above or below the last swing low or swing high, right? But really, the last swing high is down here. Sorry, the last swing low is down here. And, this is not going to be my stop loss, right? Now, those guys that have the indicator, right, using the river as a stop loss placement tool is also pretty good, right? You can start buying in here and put your stop below this river. Because price, if it comes back down to here, it's dynamic support, right? So putting our stop below that makes sense. And you can even shuffle it up. That's not a trading term. What is the term? I think you can even God, I tell you, my mind's gone blank today. When you move your stop loss trail, Jesus Christ, help me. Yeah, you can trail your stop loss, right? Bear with me, guys. I've been drinking. But yeah, this is a really good stop loss placement tool, right? And if you're interested in the indicator, the link's in the video description. So that's the problem you have here. So a couple of things you can do, right, is rather than just enter at this level, wait for a bullish reaction. Let's say you end up with a bullish reaction like here. Then you've got something to hide behind. Maybe put your stop loss in here, right? Because right now you don't. You can't start entering here and hide there, right? So you could wait for a bullish candle and hide behind that. Right, so they're your options really. Now, also the H4, right? You can wait for a H4 structure break. You can see I have an alarm in here because this will become interesting to me, right? Because as you can see, H4, right, in a downtrend. So like maybe if this level becomes important, it's probably more of a H1 level right now than H4. But if we start seeing this, right, and then we get a break, that is also a nice way to enter at this support level, right? A H4 structure break is a very, 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 very big indication that buyers have taken over, right? It's one of the best indicators money can buy, right? So if that happens, yeah, then you start buying on the break, right? Put your stop loss below here, because then again you've got some proof that this is a good level to hide behind. It's that good a level that H4 structure broke, right? So these are the things I'll be looking out for Aussie dollar Swiss franc. But yes, I like this level to trade from. So I hope that helps, Jane. Right, what else are we looking at? And yeah, guys, just so you can see all of my trade ideas that I've put in here. There's my Euro Swiss franc. There's my pound New Zealand. There's my New Zealand yen. If you're interested in all of these, please come join the Discord channel. This is specifically the VIP. And if you want free access to this, just come and support the channel by signing up with our preferred broker, Pepperstone. Simple as that, guys. Right, what other questions have we got? Okay, Max likes Aussie dollar Swiss franc buys as well. He's waiting for a setup. Okay, good question here from Nero. Do you close trading for the year, or will you always take a trade when it presents itself? Basically, Nero, over Christmas, I'll just be too drunk. I'm only joking, but yeah, I'll switch off. Christmas is a really nice time for traders to just switch off, right? The markets aren't up to much, right? Everyone's having Christmas off, and I think it's Wednesday, Friday, I'll be trading until like the Friday the 19th, right? And then I think I come back again. Is it the 5th of Jan, something like that? I'll still be posting YouTube vids, but I won't really be trading, from Monday the 21st, Monday the 22nd through to New Year, really. The market will present opportunities because I have traded in between Christmas before. But there's a lack of volume in the market. It can make price a little bit whipsawy. So yeah, I like Christmas for that reason, because as you know, guys, trading can be, I try to make my trading as boring, as dull, and as, stressless as possible, right? I really do that. That's important to me. But staring at, not that I stare at charts, but trading all year, right? And that being my main source of income, you know, there's a pressure to it, right? So I really look forward to Christmas and having those couple of weeks off. And what we're going to do, guys, is just kind of, you know, put some YouTube tutorial vids and stuff like that, just to keep the channel ticking over and help you guys with, you know, learning trading. So yeah, that's the plan. Might do a little live stream in between as well. Might do like a Christmas quiz live stream extravaganza, you know, with like giveaways and stuff like that. I haven't, you know, I'm literally just sharing ideas with you as I think of them. So yeah, might do a few things like that. And as guys, you know, and as a channel, I really want to share this with you as well. As a channel, we are open to your ideas, right? But you have to voice them in our Discord community, right? We've got suggestions, like a suggestion box, if you like. So if you think, Tom, this will be good fun, or this is what I'd like to know about trading, or I think this will be good for the channel, or this is what I want to see, you know, then don't be afraid. Come tell me, right? You know, we do this, you know, I do it because I enjoy doing it, right? I enjoy teaching other traders. I know how difficult it was for me. And, you know, I want to pass that knowledge on, really. You know, I've got a lot of free time. You know what trading's like. You can be sitting on your hands for days. And in that free time, you know, the YouTube channel, you know, gives me something to do, really, rather than going down the pub all day. But you know, so if you've got any ideas, I'm flexible, guys, right? I'll be like, yeah, okay, that's a good idea. Let's do it. You know, this is, you know, I don't want to get too corny, but this is your channel as well, right? So, you know, let me know what you want to see or what you want to do, right? Yeah, so there you go. Right, what else are we looking at? Jane wants to look at Euro Canadian dollar sales. Okay, Mohammed is in pound US dollar. Are you selling it? Let me just have a look at your entry. 3372. You're buying it. Okay, so you're buying pound US dollar. Okay, we did look at pound US dollar earlier on, Mohammed, so you might want to take a look at that analysis. But let's have a look at Euro CAD. I'm in pound CAD. Right, I like pound CAD. Do I like Euro CAD? Yes, all of a sudden, yeah, it's at a nice level, right? I would even refine this support and resistance level to include, I just refined it to include that low. But you can clearly see this is a level where price is reacting, right? So this is very similar to Aussie dollar Swiss franc trade, right? It's at a really nice level, right? But you know, if you start selling there, where are you going to put your stop? Up there, all right? Again, our Smart River is a pretty good place to put stop losses. So I just want to see reaction in here. Yes, I like the level, but until I start seeing some kind of selling behavior, I won't touch it, right? And that selling behavior could be a big bearish daily candle, right? That's a pretty good reason to start selling. Or, as I explained with Aussie dollar Swiss franc, we start getting structure breakdowns, right? You can see H4 is in this uptrend. Maybe it bounces off there again, and we get this kind of, and then we get a big sell-off, something like that. Break this low, lower highs, right? Lower lows, we start selling. But I need this to happen, right? Or at least that big bearish daily candle. But yeah, Euro CAD's at a nice level. We like that. Yeah, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button and smash the like button. Please go check out the website. Please come join our trading community. Please support the channel by signing up with one of our preferred brokers, and have a lovely day. Don't forget to join us for the live streams again next week, as usual. And also straight after this vid, guys, we're releasing a video based on how you should trade in 2026. So go check that video out as well. Take a look. Let me know what you think. Leave a like. Again, leave any suggestions as well, guys. All right. So yeah, thank you very much for your time. This is the last live stream of the week. Go check out the weekly forecast on Saturday as well. Right, I'll stop waffling. See you later.